Bienvenido a Por Eso en Just Because con Marisol. El tema de hoy es de 3 jóvenes, uno ya siendo médico, ejerciendo medicina en los Estados Unidos, 2 estudiando medicina en un país que no es el de ellos. Estén pendientes. I am so excited. We have 3 amazing, one a doctor, Dr. Polanco. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Kelvin.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm happy to be here.
Such a handsome guy. Crystal, my God.
Hey, Mom.
How are you? She said, Mom, why?
Because we're on camera.
Yes, I'm very excited to have you here. And the reason why we're here today is to, you all 3 of you went, or you 2 are going to a broad school, medicine. And we want to talk about why going abroad to study medicine and not staying in the United States. And this is an information that I really want to expose and let people out there know that it's okay to send our kids away or to another country to study medicine. But there's a lot more information. So first of all, doctor, why did you study medicine? Not engineering, or why medicine?
I mean, I guess I don't have, everybody has like a classic story, like, oh, I had this experience as a child or this. I don't have a story like that per se, but I would say is, so in my family, there's physicians. So my mother's a physician as well. And I guess that's the exposure I got since I was little. It's not to say like, she forced me or anything, but it's just what I saw. She's a doctor, her doctor friends. You saw, you went to the clinic with her and whatnot. So I think that environment, it kind of just implanted in me, right, since I was little. So as I kept going and through elementary school, high school and everything, like my preferences were science classes. It's just what I felt comfortable and good at. So I don't know if there was like a deciding moment that I could say like, this is the moment I wanted to study medicine. It was more like, it was just in me, innate from the start.
Wonderful. What about you, Kelvin?
So it's actually a funny story. I decided I wanted to study medicine when I actually first got to meet you during the operativo. We did an operativo, I want to say 2015,
yes,
to the Dominican Republic, and it opened up my eyes to just I want to say that I didn't know how much medicine impacted the lives of other people until I was actually in the trenches, looking at the extreme poverty that people go through in the Dominican Republic. Look, talking about it like Marisol, like just because it gets me emotional because I like to help people in many ways, but now I want to really help people medically wise.
But you also come from a background.
So my mom is actually a dentist, and it's funny, I steered to the dentistry at first, thinking because it's Cristabel was saying, like it was in me because of my mom, but in reality I didn't like it as much. And then studying, when I got to know when I got into the field much more, I tended to steer more towards the medicine end, if that makes sense.
That's a wonderful story. What about you, Crystal?
Mine's actually very similar to La Doctora Polanco here because obviously I grew up seeing doctors all the time, all my birthday parties because of you. So, of course it wasn't forced, never. Like, it's just something I grew up around, and then I ended up working for you since I was like 6 years old. So I just saw prescriptions all day, patients all day, and I actually liked it. Like, I feel really comfortable in it, and I feel like this is what I'm meant to do.
I also, and I'm going to add to that because I remember taking you to the medical mission as well. That's when Kelvin went.
Yeah.
You were very impacted. Every time I let you start seeing patients, and I will leave you guys alone, and you start seeing patients and measurements and everything, and she will cry, and she will get so emotional.
I mean, it's just like, we've all done it. Like, you see people that have nothing. So it's eye-opening.
Yeah. It really is.
It feels good. It feels good to help. You don't do it, you do it, of course, for them, but you feel good doing it too. So,
So why going abroad. And we're going to talk about the Dominican Republic because all three of you went to a school in the Dominican, or you both are still an active medical student. And you all three, you, Dr. Polanco, went to the Dominican Republic as well. Why the Dominican Republic? Why not Trinidad? Why not, or another island? You can answer.
Okay, so a lot of, well, we're all Dominican, so it kind of tends to steer towards our own country. Cristabel was the first one to recommend Unive to
Same.
Crystal and
Yeah,
I.
to
So
both of us.
it's amazing how our story all intertwines. It's kind of surreal because it's kind of, I don't know, it in the sense that it all seems like it's meant to be. In
Okay.
some way, somehow.
And that's great. But since you were the one telling them this school is the school to go, you go to the Dominican Republic, why you decide to go there?
So I think when you're choosing not just one medical school, but what career, everything influences, right? Like your support system, your like if the place you're going to is going to help you gain your final goal, right? So I would say for me personally, and I mean I don't know if you guys agree, but you want to be somewhere where you'll have a good support system, where you're gonna thrive, right? So for me, at least, like Kelvin said, we're Dominicans, right? We have family over there, we have resources and whatnot. And when you're from, or when your family is from a certain area, it's easier to get more information on that area. So I think personally for me, when I made the decision to study abroad, I looked into, I wouldn't look, for example, into Mexico, not because there's anything wrong, medical schools and like Mexico are great, but I'm not Mexican, right? So I would be, it's already a hard enough process to go to another country because we're not from there, right?
Yeah.
We're all from here. So to go to another country, especially, if you don't have a support system there. So I think that's why. And also, you do your research before you go. You guys got some information from me, but personally for me, I reached out to other people who had completed my final goal, right? Can I come back to the United States? Because at the end of the day, we love being in our country, but we're from here. And this is where we wanted to
Finish.
Yeah, to complete our career, to continue being physicians. So I think it's mostly like the support system, and if it has like the things that you can thrive in.
Absolutely.
Honestly, for me, everything they said, but also financially, it's definitely, no se puede comparar la diferencia de aquí y allá.
Yeah.
So, and also like you said, family, like my father lives over there, so that's just
Yeah.
a plus. Like I'm never alone. I have my family there.
Yeah. And also it's like, that's in terms of the country, but making a decision like studying abroad, right? You have to take everything into perspective. Like you said, Crystal, financial point of view, right? So I mean, it's something, loans, we always hear about debt and whatnot. And it's something that you have to think about when you're making a career choice. Even those who choose to stay here to practice medicine, you have to think if that's something that you want to carry with, right? So you're absolutely right. Like the difference is from the sky to the ground of like the financial burden that it may have on you and your family members, right? Financially, are you going to be able to come back and do what you got to do? And for example, another aspect that motivated me to go over there is that when I finished college here, at least my personality is that I want to start, right? I had a plan. I want to keep going. I want to get done what I need to do, right? So sometimes the process here is a little bit different. Sometimes you have to wait a year, 2 years, and I didn't want to do that. So to me, studying abroad gave me the opportunity to start right after college, which was my goal, So
Yeah, that's how it was with our school. Like I literally applied, and within a few months, you're good to go.
And that was one of my next question. The step from A to Z. How is, because I know you first you study, you find out about the school, the reputation, was an accredited school, all that was good with you, right?
Yes.
Good. Now the step to get there, like the prep, because I know I hear a lot, even though I'm in the healthcare myself, and I know so many doctors that study abroad, and then they come to the United States, and for personal reasons, financial reasons, or whatever but they can't practice. They can even take their first step, which is enroll in Kaplan, do USMLE, your first, because it's a lot of money. It's timing, and then not only that, perhaps those doctors that study abroad come here and they don't know the language. Then they don't speak English. Then there's another issue that they're having. What is that you need to do if I want to send my child to the Dominican Republic, now finish college? What do I need to do? Who do I reach out? What is my first step? Do I apply? Who do I call? Who do I look for? Is there information that I can website? I mean, I know now with social media and all that's more advanced, but perhaps you can let us know.
So, I mean, I guess I could speak for the process going to the Dominican Republic more, but I think the process for any foreign country would be more or less the same, right? So, there's slight differences in the way medical education goes here as compared to in abroad. So, for example, like here, your pre-medicine in college is 4 years, right? But over there, because of like the way the system is, it's condensed into about a year and a half, right?
A year and 4 months.
A year and 4 months, right? So, what's the process? It's either you can either you get out of high school, right? And because the culture is a little bit different over there, you actually have the opportunity to go straight out of high school to the medical school, because
That's wonderful.
Yeah, because the thing is that year, so all medical schools anywhere abroad in here are about 4 years, give or take a few months, right? But that pre-medicine is a year over there, a year and 4 months. So it's either A, you get out of high school and you go abroad and you could start, they condense college and medical school into one. B, you can do your 4 years of college here, and then you could take your MCAT and then go abroad, which is what I did, right? So what does that do? Technically, I mean, some people find it silly. Some are like, okay, I get it, because you can basically, okay, I did 4 years here, what I could have done in a year there. That was my journey, right? I needed to do it. That worked out for me. So that's option B. You could do your college here, you take your MCAT and you go. Or another option is you either go to college or you don't go to college, you start college, and then you don't take your MCAT, and then you do the 5 years as if you went straight out of high school.
That's actually what I did. I did college here for a few years. I did community college, and it was well, but I actually wanted a fresh start when I went to where I go now. So I just started like day one, pre-med, and I was actually, well, we started together. We were in class with 17-year-olds. So, it was like a little bit of a, wow, we're...
An adjustment.
Yeah, like I was 22 at the time. So it was like a really big difference leaving here, starting from scratch with kids straight out of high school. Like it was definitely a big adjustment, but it obviously all works out because we only have like a year and a half left anyway.
And that was your journey, right? Because like the thing is, like I could tell you, I had the option of going out of high school, and I could tell you I was too mature for that. Like I don't think I would have thrived. As a 17-year-old because I was 17 when I graduated.
I agree. I'm happy I waited till I was 22.
Yeah, maybe it's the way, I don't know, but I feel like I wasn't ready to take that step. For me, college was an experience I needed, right? And some people say no, and some people actually do some classes just to see, like what the demeanor is here, and then they do what you did, and that's fine.
It actually was better for me because just like you said, me coming at 18 to leave my family, I wasn't gonna behave. I wasn't gonna do well in class because honestly, like
you're 17.
My whole perspective of Dominican Republic before I started school was, I'm going to their party. I'm going to there to party with my cousins. I'm going to their party with my friends. So that was still my mentality. So if I would have done that at 22, I would not be sitting here gonna be a doctor in a year and a half. Like, I just know that.
But it's also how you were raised, right? Because we were raised in this country, and the way you're raised is like, okay, you're still a kid, even though, you're going to college or you're a kid, right? Over there, they're like...
No, yeah, I'm still on ñoña.
Like,
yeah.
It's more
Over there, they're like, you're 17, but you're getting your whole career and your whole life together and everything. You're like...
Yeah, by 22, you're married with a career, you're done.
Exactly.
And it's just like, damn, I got there at 22. I'm starting
now.
So it was definitely an adjustment, but worth it.
I see it in the way that I see it. kids over there have to mature much faster. Well, they're basically thrown into careers because they don't have that time to party. They don't have that availability of financial freedom to just say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna take an off year and travel, do something. No, it's either you're gonna go to work or you're gonna get to it and get an
You have to
education.
mature faster.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely.
So what is the length of studying? How long does it? Because I know here you have to go for a year. It's a protocol. It's a big thing here, right? But in the Dominican Republic, as you mentioned, it's condensed. How long does it take from getting there pre-med to finish?
5 years, 4 months.
Yeah.
How long?
5 years, 4 months.
Assuming there's no breaks. right?
Assuming there's no pandemic.
Yeah. Pandemics,
No
breaks,
pandemics,
life. Basically,
Life,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like the fact is that sometimes that extends by like a month or 2 months, right?
Yeah.
For example, for me at least, I think mine was extended by like maybe a month and a half, right? Because there was a point where I took like a month break, not even like a break, but I divided my classes, right? So I don't know, back in my day, so it was like super long ago. You could do that, like you could divide. You guys take a number of
You still have
credits.
that option.
You still have
Right.
the option of dividing a semester, not just a few like a few weeks.
No, but
Yeah.
that's what she did.
Yeah, I divided a
okay,
semester.
okay, yeah.
So I divided a semester where I was only taking like maybe 1 or 2 classes, right? It worked out where I had like a few weeks left, like free to study. And because as you know, like Unive kind of promotes, since they're preparing a lot of doctors to go to like Spain and Dominican Republic, Brazil, all these different places, it promotes time to like prepare for wherever you want to go, right? So to study for step 1, I had to do that. So I technically graduated. I graduated February 2017. Wow, that was a long time ago. So
It wasn't.
Yeah, it feels like a long time ago.
You're so young. Please.
But like February 2017. So that's a weird month to graduate, right? Like okay, like February. I mean, it worked out well for me because I started residency that same year.
You see, that's actually something that we were just talking about.
Yeah, you've been discussing this.
We actually finished school in December, but our school doesn't have
A graduation.
their graduation until the following July.
Yeah.
But we can't really apply for residency. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know
No,
if we
you
can
can't.
before we graduate.
I didn't go to my med school
Yeah.
graduation. Yeah.
right?
So it's like, so then we kind of have like a year kind of just like waiting,
Yeah.
done, but not done because we're waiting. But so it's like, it's just weird.
It is. It's a weird
month.
transition.
Like,
yeah.
yeah, that's what it is.
But you know what? It works out sometimes. Like I made the decision. I was like, you know what? Like I already had a college graduation. I guess like my resolution for that to make myself feel better. I took my med school graduation picture. So my med school diploma, I was like, you know what? I just care about the pictures right now because okay, I already did college graduation. I just want to start residency.
Yeah,
Like you're so
I feel you.
tired.
We're over it. Like, you're like,
Yes. you're
And
so tired,
honestly,
like-
I understand being over it because like I'm currently in my step studying process. Like
It's a lot.
and I'm
no, it's
I'm tired.
I know.
It's a
Like,
lot
I'm-
of pressure.
And just
I'm, like, tired.
wait till you get to the residency level. I took my pediatric board exam last year. And I was like, I've been studying for so many years. Like, why is this? It's so tedious. It gets worse. Right?
Okay.
No pressure. What do you
mean it gets okay?
Did it just got a little hot in here?
Yeah, no, I need
Somebody turn on the
water.
AC or something.
No, you know what happened? The thing is that you guys are like back to back, right? You
Yeah.
take step 1, you step 2, you do CKCS for, I don't know. I mean, they changed it now,
Exactly.
right?
There's
No more
CS.
CS.
Yeah, which is
That's fantastic. Thank
I
God.
know. I was like, I don't even know. Like, I'm so happy for you guys that are my friends, and
Yes.
but I was like,
Where was this?
like, you
No,
know?
that's a blessing.
But-
Money wise too.
Yes,
Oh,
because it was
definitely.
expensive. And honestly, like I feel like it was kind of a useless test, but whatever. I mean, obviously I'm gonna say
I
that
just
because
feel
we
like-
don't want to keep taking tests over and over.
no, just that we've been doing CS for years, so it's like
Exactly. But
that's the point.
but like for example, you do that and then you do step 3. And then you do all this residency and you're just exhausted and sleep deprived and then you have to take a board exam, you know? So it just gets like it becomes so tedious and you're like, I just want to be a doctor. Like I'm so tired of doing like
I want my own
thousands
hours.
of questions a day, you know, but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's just like you're a human being. I'm sorry, whoever says that, oh, I love studying, I love taking 8-hour long exam is a liar. Like, no, that's not true.
Absolutely.
I honestly like I love studying some days,
Yeah.
but a lot of the days I'm like, oh, I need my bed is right behind me, like.
Because you're a human
A wine
being,
bottle
you know? Yeah.
in my fridge.
Like moderation. When you do stuff, when things get to the extreme, there's no way that you cannot burn out.
Everything
There's
in
no
excess is
way.
bad. Even water, you know?
Absolutely.
But it's like, and then you have those moments where you're like, you know what? And like, you want to hands on and you want to just get to work and you're like, I don't care, about the K of the chemistry and all this stuff,
This
like the physics.
alpha
Yeah.
receptor beta.
Seriously.
Yeah, like.
I just want to give the pill. That's it.
Yeah. It's gonna make you better.
And then you're studying all this stuff, especially for step 1. Then you're like, dude,
Oh my God.
They're like, why do I have to I don't know some random mathematical
And then
fact that you'll
there's
never
stuff,
use in your
there's
life?
stuff that really doesn't click.
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
stuff that I have seen every day for 2 weeks, and I'm still like, I don't get why.
It's
And
because-
for what?
I mean, it's that sometimes with these standardized tests, it's about how much trivia can you really retain.
And that's
I
not
feel like-
even nice.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes a lot of the information is crucial, granted, but
Yeah,
there's
Right.
there's like a 20% of that or 15% where it's just pure trivia. Well, you will never see that disease. You will never see that one little fact where it's like
No, seriously.
And that one little fact's worth like 10 points.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why it's worth 10 points because we're never gonna see it.
Right?
Oh my God.
No.
So you guys have all this information that you guys just share among each other.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of us
We went on a tangent.
listener will be like, what is a K or whatever? What was that? Right? But I'm like, okay, they understand. We don't. But anyway, let's get back on track here to educate and to help out
Right.
our listener. So let's talk about accommodation. When you decide to go home, to go back to or go to the Dominican Republic to study abroad, you have to get accommodation. You have to cost and expenses. So how? Because you when you went to study abroad, your mom had already a place for you.
Right. And my grandma lives over there, so that helped a lot,
And I know Crystal, you have your father there.
Yeah, I actually
accommodation.
live with my grandma, so I have the advantage that breakfast is made, clothes are washed,
Of course.
What about you?
dinner.
So I'm actually the
Opposite.
Yeah, the opposite in this conversation. So my family's from Santiago, where our school is in the capital,
Santo Domingo?
Santo Domingo. So I don't have immediate family. So a lot of for the past 4.5 years, not that I've done it all on my own, but in the sense that most of it I basically had to take care of things on my own. You guys get the point.
Yeah.
But in the sense that it's good because it forced me to grow up. That the kid that went to the Dominican Republic is not the kid that's sitting here right now. Like I feel like growing and being on my own has helped me a lot, and it's helped me flourish in many ways.
Discipline,
Yeah,
Definitely.
of course, yes.
And then cooking wise, my cooking has gotten a lot better.
But you know how to cook. That's cheap.
I mean-
You know how to cook when people buy your food.
Hold on. No, but to be honest, I feel like cooking in DR actually helped a lot. It just skills
Better meat,
overall.
better
yeah.
sauce.
Because you have other skills. So what is your skill? Let's talk about this. You cook.
So as a hobby, I like to cook. It's always just since I was, I guess, like 13, I was really chunky, and
Healthy.
listen.
Yeah, right?
Dominicans call it
No,
healthy.
él estaba fuerte.
Pero, ajá, yo estaba fuerte. Yo estaba, no, pero tú estás comiendo los hierros. Tú te estás, that's everybody used to be like, no. But listen,
Yo, they used to go in
oh,
on you.
let's not even start. Let's not.
I was straight up bullied.
It's not even funny, but yeah, they tried getting me on a diet, and I wasn't with it. At 10, 12 years old, I was like, I want to eat.
Why would you
So
have been a diet that age?
no, I mean,
please.
it was just really big. I was an excessive case though. I was 265 pounds at 12 years old.
Okay, maybe.
Tú sí estabas fuerte.
exactly.
Estaba muy fuerte.
So I understand where it came from, but it was something where I needed to reach the point where I wanted to lose weight on my own, not forcefully. So I just started cooking. Listen, it all started with one little box of spaghetti, and then now on my off times when I'm not in DR during my breaks, I actually sell food in Passaic.
It's really good.
I sell tres leches,
Hit 'em up.
frangs.
Very good.
Yeah,
Good for you.
thank you.
So to have an idea, accommodation, expenses, like how much an apartment for rental
Okay.
cost in the DR?
Okay, so was
Because it's a whole total. It's different. It's in pesos, and it's a different cost of living.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. In terms of pesos wise, you always just change the money, but thankfully I get my money in DR and then I always change it as I need it. So I decided that I wanted to stay close to school for the simple fact that I didn't want to rush. If you know the Dominican Republic, you know that the traffic there is unbelievable. You can sit there and be on one block for an hour just trying to get to your house. So I didn't want to go that route. So I chose the more, I guess, expensive side just to get the accommodation of living so close to school. So I'm yelling distance. If I yell, my professors hear me. So in that sense, it was worth it. It's around, I want to say a good 1-bedroom apartment could range from $500 to $700 dollars monthly, but you can also get a 3-bedroom fully furnished for $1,000
And have roommates.
and which I have a roommate now that I've been rooming for 2 years. We split the rent and it's amazing. Where can you tell me that you can get a 3-bedroom, 3 bathrooms, just a whole bunch of accommodations for $1,000?
Not in the U.S.
Definitely not. No. So yeah.
And what about the expenses for the school? I'm not gonna talk about what schools you guys are going or where you went, specifically, but approximately, like is it every 3 months? ¿Es a cuatrimestre? ¿Es a ¿Cómo que ustedes pagan allá?
So the Dominican Republic, well, certain schools they divide their semesters up yearly differently than the U.S. So the U.S. is mainly a winter semester and then a spring semester. Summer is optional where anyone can take 1 to 2 classes. Where in DR, it's the norm to study year round. You get, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks break, and that's a lot between the semesters, but you're always going fully. It's a full course of classes. There's no like 1 to 2 classes.
Like we're barely here.
Yeah.
Like we're barely on vacation.
I mean, I don't know if it's changed because like at least 3 years ago, 4 years ago, right? Yeah. But like, for example, I remember I used to pay because I paid as a Dominican American, right? So for us, it's a little bit different. I don't know if they still have
It's still
that.
the same price, though.
Yeah. Because like for me, confirm the price for me. But for example, I know that they have a Dominican track. They have the American track, and then they have the Dominican American track. So I remember I used to pay my first 2 years. It was $12,000 a year, which is like right, like something like that, 4,000.
No, ours.
12,000 a year?
Yeah,
Or
12,000.
Or not
No.
18?
No,
$1?
So yes,
We're talking about
$12,000 a year, and then the last 2 years they switched to 18,000.
See what they've had us starting at 18 a year for so 3 semesters a year. So you guys could do the math. And now they just kept it that way.
Like 18,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
So
it
for
has
us,
not,
it went up, right?
and we were supposed to starting rotations, but they never
because of COVID,
did.
Exactly.
right?
Because
Yeah.
of COVID had to do a lot with it.
Yeah, but for me it was like first 2 years, and then so since I didn't do the pre-med year because of college here, we did first 2 years 12,000, and then 18,000 because it's three times that you pay.
Yeah.
right.
Exactly. So
3 semester.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then this plus room and apartment and your food and all that stuff. So it adds up, but way less than here.
Absolutely,
100%.
absolutely. Like what med school here is like cheapest is like
40,000.
I don't even think anymore.
No.
Not anymore. No, I think the cheapest one that I've seen in state is maybe 50, 60.
Oh my god.
Wait, in state, not counting like dorming, books, everything.
Exactly, it's
The
just
average
tuition.
is 80,000 a year. So, yeah, it's like more than half. More, less than half. Yeah.
And that's what really makes DR so attractive. Where what you pay in, let's say, a year and a half of a U.S. medical school, it's basically your entire 5 years.
Why not sending
And-
my kid abroad, right?
I mean, the debt that you save, like I will always be grateful because I started my residency debt free. So residency was my first job, right? So like it was nice to like actually make money that was gonna be my money, you know?
Exactly, yeah, that you didn't have
Yeah.
to think you have to pay back a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So loans. What about the loans? Is it easy to apply for loans, or you apply within an American, or it's in the Dominican? How do you apply for a loan in DR for for a school?
So that question is just a little tricky for us because fortunately we did not have to pay. We didn't have to take out loans, and I think that I stand.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
none-
none of us
that-
did.
Yeah, we're
But I
grateful for that.
remember like classmates they used to use like Sallie Mae, right? Sallie Mae or something.
Yeah, I think they do that now.
Yeah.
So exactly. So if you want to take out a private loan, there is a company called Sallie Mae that gives
Sallie
out
Mae,
loans
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, it's definitely the interest isn't the cutest, but it's a necessity for
But
a lot of
even
my
if you have to
classmates.
pay it, yeah, even if you have
Yeah.
to pay it, it's still less than here. Yeah.
And a lot of my classmates definitely go through that every month, like, oh, ya mandaron los cheques, like, you know. So
Yeah.
it's
That's
kind of,
wonderful.
yeah.
But if you add it all together, it's still less. Like living expenses.
Yeah, if you think about
food,
it, the whole
everything.
career, like I did the math one day, it should be like 100 for all 5.5
nothing.
years.
And, no, and that's
Something amazing.
and I did it with living expenses as well. It came out to 130, 145, and that's like splurging.
And honestly, guys, that's because we decided to study in English. If we wanted to study in Spanish,
Exactly. That's
less.
that's a
No,
great
that's a
point.
question.
like
that I
if we
wanna
wanted,
ask.
okay, so I think we both personally chose to study in English because we are better in English. We've studied English our whole lives. It's just better. But it's triple the cost of the Spanish section.
Absolutely.
But in order for you to apply for Spanish class, do you have to be a Dominican nationality? Do you have to?
So you do have to be a Dominican or
Wait for Spanish?
No, you
to be on the Spanish.
you just have to. They make you take an exam to make sure your Spanish is good enough.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So maybe
Because
I had
because we have classmates that are from Spain. We have classmates that are from Puerto Rico.
Or maybe
And they go
maybe
to-
to pay as a Dominican track.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna be in a Spanish track, but you're not Dominican, you're gonna pay your $6,400.
Really?
So those-
As
the
opposed to
question.
your
Yeah.
2,000 that you'll pay if you were a Dominican.
Okay.
Yeah.
From what we may
Because I'm going to say this with Crystal, we had to get her double nationality.
as well.
So she became, because both of her parents are Dominican, and so was you, right?
Exactly.
So all three of you.
It actually was better because whenever we would leave, we would spend more than 30 days there. So then we wouldn't have to pay to leave the country to come back. So it was a lot of, we got our bank accounts. Like it was just easier to be.
It's convenient from every angle.
Yeah.
From living in the country, like pay, like things in Unive, like or you know, at any school over there, they go
And also-
smoother. You know.
No, of course, and also with passing your credits. So let's say you're a college student in the U.S. and you're transferring over to the Dominican.
That was my
Republic.
next question
So
that you brought that up. Yeah.
okay, so if per institution, I want to say it's $300 or $400, not pesos. Where I passed over from 2 institutions and I had to pay 150 pesos. That's the equivalent of $3.
$3.
almost 3, like
Almost
literally
3, not even.
nothing,
That's
yeah.
$2.89 if you want to get technical.
Wow.
So it's a tremendous.
That also circles back because that's also another reason why I did decide to go there. Like that convenience and that, like imagine doing all this and like another in Europe that I'd never been to. I don't know anything. I don't know how they live. Like,
And
that's also
here,
something.
what's the average step? Like $500,000, right?
Yeah.
The average step of like medical school.
yeah, I think it's like
medical-
300, like 300 to
Close
500.
enough a million, yeah.
Algo así.
Yeah, because like I had a lot of like co-residents too that you know they're gonna start paying off their debt now that we finished residency and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, my debt's like $500,000, 400,000.
I
you
know doctors, and again, being in the field, I know so many doctors that they're still paying for their loans. And this is going to be years and years paying off.
Yeah.
It's going to take forever.
Yeah.
So going back and helping, for those that were really thinking about going abroad and study medicine, did you face any challenge, let's say depression, you got homesick, I want to come home, mom, I want to quit? Did you experience none of that?
I definitely, my first 2 years there were not easy. Leaving, like, it was really hard. And especially because I worked here since I was little. Like, I didn't have like a lot of bills. I was like taken care of. But I did have the freedom of, I want to go out with my friends. I have my own money. I want to this, that. I want to go shopping. So my life changed completely to the point that I had to depend on my parent, like on my dad. So it was just like a really big, like, oh damn, I want to go out to eat with my friend. I gotta ask for money. Like I'm older. So that was definitely one of the things that it was really hard to adjust to, let alone the fact that I'm in another country, let alone that the traffic was just, oh my God. Like you start contemplating like, is this worth it with this crazy traffic? Like my school is 10 minutes away and I'm 45 minutes. Like it's like little things that when you're in the beginning that you start realizing like, was this the right decision? Like, did I do the right thing? Like, can I get through it? I'm going home in a few weeks. Can I deal with it? But obviously I dealt with it. So
Did you had to face something like that?
Yeah, so I want to say the first year it was very hard for the simple fact that I've always loved to work. I've always been doing something to get money, and to going from making just even a little bit of money to then having to ask, it was something that I didn't like. I had to transition very much to it. And yeah, it did not that in particular, but how Crystal said, just the everything adding up. Depression was definitely like something that maybe I didn't know I was going through at the time, but looking back at it, I was 100% depressed, whether it had to be with studying, whether it had to be with financially, like asking.
Family's not around.
Alone,
Overwhelming
exactly.
is all overwhelming.
So it was, yeah.
The whole transition.
100%. So yeah.
What about you, doctor?
I agree. I mean, I think we all go through it. I think it's inevitable. I would say like my first, especially the first 6 months, but definitely the first year, you feel lonely. You know, you miss your family. You miss knowing how to get around, right? So like before, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to, I don't know, Stop and Shop and get a toothbrush or whatever you need, right? Like now you're in this whole new area. You don't know where to go, who to call. Actually, you know, like even like me who had my grandmother. Yeah, you know, she's like, oh, okay, or I'll take you, or you could call this taxi. And you're just like, well, what do you mean? How do I know if I get there, you know? So I think that's definitely like a little lonely. And to add to the fact that we're studying one of the most, or you guys are studying, and I was studying one of the hardest careers that there are. It's already like emotionally draining, you know?
True.
So it's something that like I think it's a challenge that makes you stronger, but it's a challenge nonetheless.
yeah, definitely.
It's true. And adding that, you guys will always go back to the Dominican Republic on vacation. So it was like, I'm on vacation. I'm going now. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the resort. Now you're there. It's you're going to be there for 5 to 6 years, and it's no longer that vacation. I'm going to go to the resort next weekend.
No.
I mean, we have the ventaja that we can.
Yeah.
Now-
But everybody thinks you can. But
I've
can
definitely, in the
Oh.
4.5 years that I've lived there, I think I only went to the resort once, and that was for my birthday last year.
But
And I had to plan that. Like I had to make
Because
sure
of
that
the school.
Yeah, and I was like,
course.
wow, people really think that
That you
I'm
live
gonna
in a
be
tropical
out here.
island
I
and then-
can't.
Yeah, that it's all fun, and you're literally looking at four walls all the time, because you're either in the library,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
in a classroom.
And I'm going to say this as a mom, as Crystal's mom, I used to go to the Dominican Republic and for the weekend. Always for the weekend. I was like, oh, I'm going to see my daughter. I was
You
like,
didn't
I
see
don't have time for that. So we'll
I
meet
used to be like, we have
at
to
a
schedule that.
restaurant like around 8 o'clock at night just to have dinner, and then that's it.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have that privilege of spending that weekend with my daughter. I couldn't plan that. It was never, I was okay just to see her at least having dinner at a restaurant one night.
Even like when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna go over there in like July. I'm off from work," and I'm like, I won't be able to dedicate time to you.
Exactly.
Like maybe a dinner, maybe a night out if I really study and cram before. But it's definitely it's never party.
But it's all about dedication, it's discipline, and you're there for that.
Yeah.
And by the time you know, you guys are going to graduate. You guys are almost done. Mm-hmm. So now you both, I know, doctor, you're already done, and you're practicing medicine, which we'll talk about it in a few.
Okay.
But with Kelvin and Crystal, you guys are doing your rotations right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that experience, being in this country where I know
An experience.
the hospitals is totally different from the U.S.
Yeah.
It is definitely an experience. It is a great experience. It is a different experience, and it's nothing like what it is here in every way.
Explain.
Just like, let's talk about the fact that we're not the best Spanish speakers, but we're talking in Spanish all day. That alone is a little bit challenging. It may not be, but when you're speaking in medical terms and trying to talk to your doctor, you're higher up, it's definitely it's harder than just talking like this.
What about the hospital itself?
Some hospitals are very well equipped, very sanitary. Some hospitals aren't.
and it's because of the you tend to see night and day differences. So you can go to a hospital that's the most modern, that resembles a U.S. hospital, that they have air conditioning.
In every room.
They have an actual appointment system where then you can go right across the street or right down the street and go to another hospital where they're still doing everything by hand. Everything is, nothing is sanitary. Not that it's nothing sanitary, but in the sense that they don't have the money to constantly be buying the wipes. They're trying to have their patients survive. That's their goal. And it's sad because we with just a little bit of an investment, a hospital can flourish so much.
You see the big difference even now that we wear masks. I always bring extra masks, and you see patients walking in there with like broken masks and stuff. But then you go to another hospital right across the street, like he was saying, and
You can give
you
them
got
out.
them. You got some patients with like some nice, expensive shoes, and like it's just a big night and day difference. It's true.
What about you, doctor? Your experience doing your rotations.
During the medical school, right? So definitely I agree 100% with you guys. It is a night and day difference, right? But it's expected, right? Because we're in a different
world
country and whatnot, third
Underdeveloped.
world country. I remember that, I think maybe like my third year, which must have been like 2016, there was this one time when there was like, don't quote me on the year, but there was like a dengue outbreak, right? But you know how like obviously dengue's always been around, right? But then it was like really bad because it was causing like a very bad type of dengue, right? Where a lot of people were dying, a lot of kids were dying. And I remember, I thankfully one-on-one didn't have that experience, but you know, your classmates, you share that, right? And I remember one of my classmates was just like distraught because, you know, they hadn't been able to save a kid because they didn't have something as simple as an AED, which is, you know, like something you put here to like restart the heart when, and place on the chest to restart the heart when they're in failure, right? So like I remember he was telling me the story, and he's like, you know, we're doing CPR, we're doing everything, but CPR can only get you so far.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, they didn't have any AD in a hospital, right? And it's like, here what we have,
sad
what
story, right?
yeah, and it was hard, and that child died, you know. And that year I remember a lot of children died. Obviously, you know, like that would hit me home a little bit because of the specialty
And
I
also,
chose.
Crystal, you have also a story when your friend did, she started doing her rotation
Oh
in
yeah,
maternity.
we have a classmate. She started her hospital rotation in La Maternidad.
Maternidad.
Yeah, La Maternidad in September, and she would leave every day crying.
It's horrible.
Because they were literally feeding the newborn babies with like plastic cups.
Yeah.
They were dressing them in like the little booties and like the head things for the surgery.
That's how they would dress them.
Yeah, they
because
would dress
didn't
them
have-
like they tie them, and then like she would leave every day crying. So to the point that she was like, I have to do something.
Yeah.
So she made a GoFundMe and raised thousands and donations for blankets, for bottles, for just so many things. And she's still doing it. Like she's still getting feeding tubes for these babies too, pads for the moms, because honestly in that hospital the majority, I'm pretty sure you rotated in La Maternidad.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's mostly immigrants
Yeah.
like that have nothing, so it's just even worse.
That's
and they don't even
beautiful.
speak Spanish. So she also came up with a system to speak, well, her and her classmates, to speak Haitian, because they're mostly Haitian, to speak Haitian Creole with them directly, and like take cue cards and like play like a little tape recorder for them to teach them how to sanitize and how to clean themselves, how to clean the baby, because they're giving birth, they have nothing, they don't understand what the doctor's saying, so they're leaving with a newborn baby with no idea.
That's incredible.
Amy
though.
So yes, shout out Amy Paulino. She's gonna be one of the best
She
doctors.
is. I met her, and an amazing person.
Yeah.
She
Wow.
was so cute. And when Crystal sent me those pictures, I was,
They're
oh
rough.
my God, I cried,
Wow.
honestly. And I said to Crystal, my mission right now is to prep myself for when she's ready to go to La Maternidad to do her rotation. I'm going to start asking for donation and prep like those baby bags. And there we're going to have pads for the moms, bottles, wipes, diapers. We're going to prep all that. And that's my mission. That's my next medical mission.
That's beautiful.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to count on Doctor. I'm
Of
calling
course,
you.
please. I'm a pediatrician.
Yes.
But I think definitely like that's beautiful. And you remember like Robert Reed, right? Like the
Robert,
main
yeah.
pediatric hospital in the capital, Santo
Yes.
Domingo. Like I remember when I rotated through that, it's like you walk in and you, no matter what, every day you hear a parent crying, and you're like, oh my god, like that's traumatizing. You hear a parent crying. We had I don't think I don't remember her name. One of the doctors that probably will teach you guys, a hematologist, pediatric hematologist. I remember she told us, like, she's very young, and that she had like a kid who, you know, had a bleeding disorder and just like kept bleeding, and she had to buy and make her own like tamponade, I guess, for like the nose, right? But she had to go out and buy the tools to do that. You know, it's the fact. It's what you
It's
live
just
through.
what, like,
Yeah.
we know we're gonna see that. Like, it
Yeah.
hasn't
More
changed.
resources.
It hasn't changed in
This
30
hospital has
years,
more.
and it's gonna probably still be like that.
But I will tell you, it makes for a great learning experience. And I mean, my personal opinion, you become a doctor that you can, you know, be a doctor anywhere. Like
And that was my next question. Do you believe that being studying medicine abroad, or you doctor that you already did that make you a more prep doctor than a U.S. doctor? Because you, and I know in the DR, you start hands on, right on rotation. They'll you'll work with patient. You work in there.
Yeah.
Here, when you're a medical student, they don't let you touch a patient until graduate.
Yeah, because everything's a liability. Everything's
liability.
like, everything.
So I believe that you guys are in Spanish. Dice que ustedes van, que allá los médicos lo hacen.
Yeah.
A ustedes lo hacen. Y lo hacen con pocas cosas, con pocos recursos. Let's talk about electricity. What about if you're doing a C-section and electricity? Oh, se fue la luz. What happened? What do you do?
Well, actually, that
Improvise.
happened.
Yeah.
that happened.
Oh, you heard that story too,
They
or that
always
was your
tell us
class?
that
Oh, was it
story.
me that told you that story? Maybe?
No,
it
they
was
told.
our
Yeah, it was
teacher.
our teacher.
Let's
that
talk about that story.
Yeah.
That story is beautiful.
Yeah,
It was basically these two students from our school. They ended up matching in the same hospital. And they were both in the middle of a woman giving birth. I don't know if it was C-section or if it was natural birth. But resulta que se va la luz. I don't know why or exactly what happened, but that everyone was like, oh my God, wait, no, the machines and blah, blah. And the girls were like, what?
Yeah, everyone's freaking on. They're like,
Everyone's freaking out. They were like, no, we got this.
Like,
Like,
this is the
don't worry
normal.
about it. Yeah, this is fine. We don't need any of that.
Like, you guys
And
have
they-
flashlights.
And
like-
they delivered this baby healthily, and like, honestly, shout out to
Yeah,
our
you're
experience for
prepared for
that,
everything.
because
Yeah. I
that's
agree.
literally what it is.
Yes.
I agree. I personally think, from what I've seen, and not to downplay, because absolutely, like I know both doctors, right? From me being an international medical graduate, IMG, and doctors that did their training here, and like, yeah, the knowledge is the same. It's not to downplay them or say that they're any less or anything, but I just feel like a big part of medicine too is the confidence you have in yourself, right? And like the fact that you want to feel like, okay, I'm always gonna be scared, but I've seen this before. I can handle this, and I think it helped. It helped a lot.
And also, we've had some doctors now during rotation that, like, I'll be like, no, I'm scared, and they're like, halo,
Yeah.
halo, que nada va a pasar. Like,
Yeah.
tú vas a aprender, like, do it. Don't worry about it. Like, hazlo, it's gonna be fine, and it's true, and it's always fine
Yeah.
because you need that. Like,
you can read a book 1,000 times.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah, but
live.
until
You,
you
you
put
can't
hands
read
on,
an
yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hands-on.
like it's all about living it.
It's different. And like,
It
for
really
example,
is.
me, I did my residency training in St. Joseph. So obviously St. Joseph is fire, right? Everything
Oh my
that
God, it's trauma.
Everything. And I've
that's
seen
fun.
it's been crazy. Like, and I'm a general pediatrician. That's what I love, right? But like, I love the fact that during my residency training, I saw things I'll probably never see as a general pediatrician, but like, I saw it. Like, I saw people, like, not to use too many medical terms, like basically spitting up blood, like dwarfs. I saw a dwarf, a 20-year-old dwarf. Like, you don't see that, like, that's crazy. Granted, like, I've seen kids about to die. I put like crazy, like lines in the arteries and whatnot, right? In the
Central
vein.
lines.
Yeah, and A lines, which are like arterial lines, and those are pretty like you just see everything. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Dominican Republic prepared me for my poker face. Like
Yeah.
inside, I was
Oh.
like, I was crying. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what is going on, right? But outside, I was
You're
like,
like-
no, focus, okay.
Yeah.
This is what you're
Game
trained
time.
to do.
Yeah,
you know?
it's games, huh?
But that's because you see so much in DR. It's like, okay,
yeah,
you
like
know,
it's
cool.
regular. Yeah, it's really
And they're
is.
just making us do it since early. Like, they just make us do everything.
Yeah.
As long as they teach us the right way.
So do you feel that a doctor that it's from the United States have a better chance to get accepted in the resident program than an abroad student or a doctor?
IMG.
I feel like being an IMG has its own challenges, right? That's the fact, right? And again, this is not by any means like trying to downplay anybody else, but I feel like we have extra things to overcome, right? So when you train as an IMG and as you guys are finishing up your career, you'll see that even more. It's like you're training to become a doctor in the United States, but you're also training to become a doctor in the Dominican Republic because that's where you're studying,
They're
right?
teaching us that.
And that's just like that's the fact. Like you have to, so you don't only have to do all the American requirements, you have to do the Dominican requirements, right? And we have our own challenges. Like the fact, the objective fact is that they're gonna look at their American graduates first, right? So we have to do a little more to outshine
Our
Yes.
CV has to be like,
Yeah, because
On
at the end of
point.
the day, you could have the same grades as, person X that graduated here. You both killed your step exam, but person X is an American graduate. And unfortunately, they look at them first, right? Is it challenging? Yes. Is it impossible? No. That's how I see it. Like, you just have to work a little harder. You have to like be a little bit more proactive.
you have to do a little more.
Yes.
Exactamente.
But
So let's talk about match. When they talk about match, you hear, I have to match. I have to have a good, to apply for that dream resident program that I want. How does that work?
so I think that, first of all, the match is the most heart-wrenching process. No pressure, guys.
imagine.
Yeah,
So
like-
talk a little bit about that process.
so, okay. So when I...
Don't you guys are gonna go through, but
Yeah, don't be scared. I'm not trying to scare you.
You don't see me.
Yeah, you know what?
That AC is not working.
What's the Spanish saying? Guerra avisada no mata soldado. Be
Yes.
prepared.
Be
So that when
prepared.
it comes, you'll be set to go. I mean, I don't know. At least that's how I see it. I'd rather know what's coming than be like, blindsided, right? So match, it's a very heart-wrenching process, a very long process, and it's not a very fair process, if I'm being honest, right? People are like, yeah, it's
honest,
objective. It's objective. No, it's not. Because even if you actually look at the mechanism of how matching works, it's just like, it's Russian roulette. It's like, I feel like hospital just spin and hopefully you'll land on that. But you have to give yourself the best opportunity. Like, no, I've known people who are incredible candidates and didn't match. I know those that are average candidates and matched, right? And I just feel like you just have to put yourself, out there the best way possible. So for example, I don't know, you guys correct me if it's changed a little bit, but for the most part, it's your grades, right? They don't even look so much at GPA. Because here in the States, medical schools have a pass-fail system. So they actually don't care about that in the foreign schools,
About
right?
the GPA.
Yeah, about the IMGs. But still, you need it to pass. So again, extra challenge. But your grades, your...
And pressure-wise, sorry
Yeah,
for
yeah.
cutting you off. Pressure-wise and grades.
Exactly.
And that was the whole study about it. They decided to make things pass or fail because they didn't see a direct correlation in between people not so much thriving, because obviously the person that's going to get the A might know more knowledge and medically wise, but it's the actual pressure of having to take exams and having to do your best.
Wait, it's pass-fail? I don't even know?
No.
Oh,
but-
in Intake and all the schools?
No.
Oh, no,
But the
I'm saying-
step starting next January, it's past.
Yeah. Okay. So my opinion about this, right? Obviously, my steps were in pass-fail, right? It's. I think it's a double-edged sword, in my opinion.
I agree.
Because I feel like, yeah, it's great. You guys don't have that pressure. But the problem is that as IMGs, you have an extra pressure now. Because now you have to
Now
look.
that GPA is gonna have to be better. You're gonna have to do more stuff.
But it's not even a GPA, because when you're an IMG, you fill out something called an MSP or something like that. And it's like, okay, there you have to fulfill certain criteria with your GPA, right? But after that, medical schools don't care. Oh, you graduated summa? Awesome. That's an ego boost. Summa cum laude, that's an ego boost more than anything. It doesn't actually help you. What helps you is your step grades. What helps you is your activities, like going to an operativo, like having the experience of working with your mom, things like that, right? And now that they made the step 1 pass fail, what's gonna matter is something that you guys don't have easy access to in DR is research.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that. Like,
Well, let's
that's
talk
another
about it,
thing. Like,
yes.
going to DR, you kind of have to also realize that we're not going to have the most opportunities for research like we have here.
No.
And that's also something that can be, it's not, but it can be a little bit detrimental
Yeah.
to our future careers, our future matching, our future hospitals, because honestly, no, like, it's harder over there. It's hard here. So imagine there. So that's also something that
And the thing is that,
be a
remember,
problem.
not every specialty, but a lot of specialties are very research heavy, right? So primary care used to not be that research heavy. It used to be like, okay, cool. If you did research, that's awesome, but it wasn't a make it or break it. Now the way that primary care is going, as well as like other challenging careers such as surgery, cardiology, yeah, they're actually like, they want research because that's the way like the world is going, right? Research and like, and that's what's going to make you distinct from like another candidate, right? So that's just an extra challenge, but something that can be overcome, right? So like another thing they used to look at a lot, which I don't know if it's something they look at, is outside rotations, because like I did them, right? So like I did, you're obviously my rotations for most, at least like 95% of my career, of my medical school career in Dominican Republic, but that other 5%, I did it in Miami. In my case, they had different options, right?
which one?
Family.
I didn't. You weren't allowed to do family in my time. Yeah. So because I wanted pediatrics, I made sure I did pediatrics, right? And I did internal medicine.
Okay.
So I did a total of about 5-6 months in Miami. And there were different hospitals in Miami, right? I know they expanded the program last I heard. Like they have some hospitals in New Jersey and whatnot that's associated, like, you know, for international rotations. But it doesn't even have to be a part of your school. It's something you could do on your own. It's just expensive, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what medical students now in today's era are going to have to do. Maybe not just rotations, but research opportunities, right? Like something like go on LinkedIn and look up, hey, do you need a research assistant? Because they have, or like Rutgers has like research opportunities for pre-med
they
students.
always have those open.
Yeah, and that's what not only you guys, but like not so much you guys, better said, more like the generations to come are gonna have to do, because you have to make yourself shine, because you're an IMG and they just made it harder for you by making the step 1 pass fail.
By the time we graduate, it's already going to be, it's like the start of the hard.
Exactly. But I mean, lucky for you, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of fall in between, like.
Yeah, like you kind of like.
That's a very good thing.
So like we definitely going to lack the research, not lack, but it's harder for the research part, but we do gain the clinical skills part.
Which is
We are
more
hands-on.
important.
So it's definitely,
Yeah.
you got to like,
You're balancing
Pick
right
your
there.
choice.
And it's more
battles.
important in real life because you're a doctor, right?
agree, yeah.
But it's papers, it's politics. You know, you have to do what you got to do to get into matching, right? And so, like the matching process, to answer your question,
Yes.
because I know we kind of
know.
divert, right? But the matching process, so you go through, which is an expensive thing too. You know, you apply to different programs. How many you apply to depends on your budget, right? For COVID, it was a little bit different because of COVID. All the residency interviews were via Zoom. So what did that do? That made residency applications this year harder, or last year? Yeah, this year, whatever. It made it a little bit more challenging because since everything was online, a lot of people, if you were more financially well off, could apply to more places. So I forgot what the fee is, but it's like your first 10 school is like X amount. And then after that, per school is like $10 more. If you're applying to like 500 schools, that's a lot of money, you know, and not to count if it's like in another state, your plane fee, your stay fee, they don't include any of that, right?
how are you going
Like-
to look when you get there?
Exactly. Your outfit, your residency outfit, I had two, right? That I wore back and forth because like, so since when I was applying for the match, I was still finishing up my rotations in Miami. So a lot of things that I had to do. Me personally, my preference was to stay in the tri-state area because I wanted to be back home.
Yeah.
Right. And just of note for IMGs, actually tri-state area is very IMG friendly. They love us, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Because
Especially
most
if
of our
you-
doctors are IMG.
yeah, because you know why? Because IMGs work hard.
Yeah.
And that's what people, especially in New York, you go in the Bronx and you know you're going to be seeing like, you know, like back
To back patient.
Yeah, like that's what they want, you know? And so I applied to the tri-state area, but I interviewed in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, no, I was gonna say Staten Island, but that's New York. So that's like where I stayed. But people like to go to Chicago. People want to go to Florida, whatnot. And even then, while I was in Miami, I was like, okay, well, this weekend they let you schedule your interviews, right? And there was one point where I remember I tried to put them all together so that it would be easier financially for me, right? Because obviously you get excuses, but at the end of the day, I'm traveling from Miami back to Jersey, then I'm driving to Pennsylvania to have 2 interviews. Like I remember one time I had my 3 Pennsylvania because I in different parts of Pennsylvania back to back. Or I try to make them back to back, but that's hotel fees. That's
Gas.
Yeah, that's gas.
Time consuming.
Yes, and then I had to go back to Miami to finish up my other rotations.
Exactly.
So it's challenging, and then it's the wait, and the wait is horrible because I think every program's different, but I think most interviews are done by mid-February, right? And then what matches mid-March, right?
March
And
14th, I think.
yeah, and it's heart-wrenching. You're just like, oh my God. And then first you get the email that's like, you've matched, but you don't even know where you matched because you make a rank list, right? So you're like, this is where I want to go. So that's the tricky part. You make a list of your top whatever schools, right? And then every program you interview at, they make a list with the 1,000 other candidates of their top candidates. And if your list match, that's how you match. So that's why it's
really
not
is
fair.
roulette.
Yeah, it's a Russian roulette, right? It's like you both spin and then you hope for the best, right?
Exactly.
So first you get your letter of hey, you've matched. But then you're waiting because you're like, oh my God, what if I match in my 8th choice?
Where am I going?
And then I think 2 weeks later or something, or a few days later, or
No, it's like a week.
like a week.
Yeah, that you that you get the email that Monday, and that Friday you know where you're going.
Just seems so much
Wow.
longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You
as
have-
long as
so you
4
got
days
a
of your
week.
life.
Yeah.
And then you get your thing, and then the whole process starts, Because then, okay, now I have to uproot my whole life and make a whole different change. So that's the gist of match. It's long, it's tedious, but
You guys can do it. You
Absolutely.
almost there. You guys
Yeah.
almost there.
I'm definitely looking forward
yeah.
to it.
And
Yeah,
you guys
I'm
are great
excited for that part.
candidates, you
Yeah.
have a lot of extracurricular activities. You're studying for your steps, you're gonna kick butt on your steps. That's how you gotta just you're okay, this is my goal. What do I have to do to get there? And that's what you're doing.
That's exactly.
So, do you know what specialty? What do you want to be? What doctor?
So I initially started med school thinking that I liked cardiology. Well, not saying that I don't, because cardiology is a beautiful field. But I tended to now start going towards the anesthesiology route. So I like the sense of guiding someone through a procedure and being able to control as much of it as possible. So it's crazy how I actually had my anesthesia class today, and he was explaining how there's so little. Everyone always talks about, oh, anesthesiologists get sued and everything like that, where it's not like that, where if you're a good anesthesiologist and you're doing your due diligence pre-op, because that's where all the mistakes happen. It's pre-op. Most of if there's complications in the surgical room, that has nothing to do with the anesthesia. That's out of your hands. You're doing the best that you can to make sure that patient goes to sleep well, manages to go through the entire surgery, and wakes up perfectly fine. So that's what I like. I like the certainty that if I apply something, I know that I can get the result that I'm looking for. And if I don't, I know the possible variants that might be causing what I don't want, or what is happening. If you
That's great. Yes, it's a great reason. And I'm going to add to anesthesiology. And before I go to you, Crystal, I had an endoscopy, and as you know, they don't put you to sleep. They sedate you. But the anesthesiologist is the one that tells you, you want to say anything? I was like, yeah, I want to wake up. So make sure you. And then he says, okay, start counting 5, 4, and then you wake up, and then you're like,
what happened?
I'm done. It's like, oh my God, that is awesome.
But
Anesthesia is awesome.
Yeah.
But that's what's good, that he did his job. You don't remember a single thing.
No, I just ask him, please. I just want to wake up.
Exactly,
Keep
and
me alive.
that's what I like.
Wonderful. So what about you, Crystal?
I started off really liking gastro, and then I rotated there last semester, and I don't like gastro. I am not about that life. I am not with it. So right now I'm undecided. Definitely a few things that I do really, really like, but a few specialties, but
Like what?
I'm still I honestly, like, I didn't get to go to pediatrics, but I did have a few kids in some rotations, and I really liked them. Like, I really.
Best field.
But I don't know. Like, I'm really sensitive, and I cry for everything.
bias.
No, that's fine.
like,
All
I don't know if I can
pediatricians are.
So I don't know. I
bias
really
around
liked
them.
it, but I obviously can't say. I'm honestly undecided still.
Okay. Well, you still got
Yeah,
time
I have
for that.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're a pediatrician.
I was so excited if you did decide pediatrics. Like, come this way.
Oh my God, you are such an amazing pediatrician. You can tell with your personality, and I can imagine you with those babies, and oh my
It's
God,
fun. It's
and,
fun.
And I know your mom; she's
Yeah.
also a pediatrician. So to finalize this conversation, which has been very informative, which I think we cover everything, or do we need to add something else that
I
we
think
didn't cover?
The only thing is, because we got a little sidetracked, when you asked about the process, like, just like in conclusion, like the whole, the 3 ways that you can go to medical school abroad, right?
Yes.
Once you get there, just to add to that for like information for the
Yes,
general population,
please.
if you do decide to study abroad, the most important thing that you need to do if you want to come back to the States, speaking from the States point of view, is make sure that you figure out when you got to take your steps, right? Which is like the process that you guys are going through, right? So everyone's different. Some people decide to take it along their career, which is what you guys are doing, what I'm doing, what I did. Some people decide to take it after.
Yes.
So that's something that's a personal, thing, but I would recommend doing it during your career.
That's the best, yes.
Yeah, because like if not, life gets in the way. And then after that, the match and residency.
And then here you are practicing medicine
Practicing
already.
medicine.
And getting paid. Well, I want to ask, what advice will you give to those young kids out there that want to study medicine abroad?
So, in plain and simple, do your due diligence. Really find out if you like medicine, because it's very easy to say, oh, I'm going to be a doctor, until you're sitting in a room for months on end trying to retain a vast amount of information. So I feel like as just try to find out as much as you can about it before you get into it, because as long as you like it, then you'll find the passion and you'll find what specialty you'll like. But if you're doing it for, let's say, the money or just for the status, to say that you're a doctor, you're not going to enjoy it. And it's going to be, I think if you don't enjoy medicine, it's almost impossible to finish it.
True.
Like,
Honestly, as cliche as it sounds, like, you have to believe in yourself, because I went through a lot of nights that I was like, okay, am I worth it? Like, is this, like, am I good enough for this? But obviously you pull through because you are good enough for it, because you do love it, not like it, you love it. And just off that alone, you can do it.
Yeah. And I would say everything you guys said, right? And just, first of all, it's hard. Like, no matter who says it, it's hard. It's hard studying all the time. It's hard. But like you said, if you love it, it's worth it. And embrace the difficultness, right? Embrace it. Be like, I'm tired. I'm questioning. It's normal to question yourself. Like, it's normal to be like, is this what I want? But embrace it and be like, you know what? If I'm struggling, it's because it's worth it. That's what I would
Good
say.
answer. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much for being here and giving all this information.
Thank you for
Thank you,
having me.
doctor.
Thank you.